This is officially the most rigged World Cup we have ever seen. That's not me. That's what millions of people were typing before Argentina's winner even hit the net. A president phones FIFA and a red card vanishes. Halftime gets carved up for broadcasters, and now a goal gets deleted 17 seconds after the fact. Argentina against Egypt was a genuinely brilliant football match, one of the best of this entire World Cup, and half the planet came away convinced the ending had already been written. Egypt broke 80 yards through the reigning world champions. Salah threaded it across. Mustafa Ezeko slotted it home, ripped his shirt off, and stood screaming at 2-0 against the team that lifted the trophy in Qatar. And then the video assistant referee started rewinding. Not 5 seconds, not to the final pass. All the way back to the other end of the pitch, 17 seconds earlier, to a shirt tug and a stepped-on toe that nobody in the stadium saw, nobody on the bench appealed for, and nobody watching at home even noticed. Goal gone. 2-0 became 1-0 and Argentina smelled blood. Christian Romero outjumped everyone from a corner to pull one back. Then Messi produced a half volley of ludicrous technique to equalize, the kind of strike that makes you forget everything else for 3 seconds until you remember what it took to get here. 2-2 with minutes left and Egypt reeling. In the 92nd minute, Enzo Fernandez attacked a cross that had no right to reach him and headed it into the net. 3-2, final whistle. Messi collapsed in tears. His teammates threw him in the air. At the other end of the pitch, Egypt's players lay face down on the grass, some of them not moving for minutes, staring at a scoreboard that 11 minutes earlier had read 2-0 in their favor. Within seconds, 3 words were everywhere across every platform and every language. This is rigged. So is it. Start with the decision itself, because you cannot understand the fury without understanding how completely it contradicted everything this tournament had been doing. Just last week, Pierluigi Collina, FIFA's own head of referees, publicly reminded everyone that officials at this World Cup have been told to allow normal football contact and keep the tempo high. And it worked. This tournament is averaging 22.6 fouls per game, down from 25 in 2022 and 27 in 2018. Referees have been waving away exactly the kind of minimal contact that happened on that Egyptian buildup in every single match. Then a VAR reaches back 17 seconds and nearly the full length of the pitch to find a shirt tug and delete a goal. That is not a fan complaint. That is the professional consensus. The BBC's Dale Johnson wrote that the disallowed goal went completely against how this tournament has been refereed. Sky Sports' Rob Harris said the technology was never meant for that. Henry Winter joked that if VAR had rewound any further into the move, Tutankhamun would be involved. Fernando Guerrero, a Mexican referee who worked the 2022 World Cup, said the protocol was simply misapplied, arguing Argentina had time, space, and 3 separate chances to recover the ball, which under the attacking possession phase rules should have made the whole sequence unreviewable. Now hold that standard in your head, because 11 minutes from the end, the exact opposite got applied. Egypt attacked. Their players screamed for a foul inside the Argentina box. Nothing given. No VAR check, no monitor. Argentina broke straight up the other end and scored the winner. 2 moments that looked identical to every neutral watching. 2 completely opposite outcomes. Egypt's coach did not wait for the press conference to cool down. Hassan said afterward that his side had suffered injustice, that a penalty had been ruled out without so much as a VAR look, while their goal was disallowed for something nobody could see. And then he said the thing that turned a refereeing role into a full-blown scandal. Perhaps they wanted Messi to stay in the running. That is an international head coach on camera, on the record, accusing FIFA of protecting a player. He did not stop there either, claiming Egypt had objected to the appointment of French referee François Letexier before kickoff because Argentina beat France in the 2022 final, insisting there were pressures from the Argentine side on the outcome and telling reporters that when he confronted Letexier at full time, he accused the official of having something to hide. His forward Zico was even more direct, saying the referee robbed an entire nation of its efforts and sarcastically congratulating Argentina on winning the World Cup. Egypt's bench boiled over so badly that a member of their backroom staff was shown a red card for his reaction. FIFA, asked to comment on all of it, said nothing. And those were not even the only decisions Egypt were furious about. Earlier in the match, replays showed Argentina right back Nahuel Molina catching Egypt winger Imam Ashur with an outstretched arm. No foul. In the second half, Salah went down under a challenge from Tagliafico. Replay suggesting the Argentine clipped his ankle. Nothing. The pattern Egypt saw was not one bad call. It was a whole afternoon of small ones, and every single one fell the same way. Here is why the word rigged stuck instantly, and why millions of people who have never cared about Egypt in their lives piled in with it, because for a lot of them, this is not the first time they have watched this exact movie. Rewind to the group stage of this very tournament. Messi caught Algeria captain Issa Mandy with a studs-up challenge that could have shattered his ankle and escaped without so much as a yellow card. Former Venezuelan striker Ali Moreno called it 100% a red card on ESPN. Craig Burley warned that letting it go would set a precedent nobody could officiate around. Algeria lodged a formal complaint with FIFA. Nothing happened. Then in the round of 32, Farhan Balogun of the United States planted his foot on a Bosnian defender's ankle in a near-identical challenge and was sent straight off. Same foul, same tournament, different outcome. One of those players is the most famous footballer alive and the other one went home. Now rewind further to Qatar in 2022, because this is the comparison that has never gone away. Argentina were awarded 5 penalties in that tournament, the most any team has ever received at a single World Cup, and Messi took every single one of them. In the quarterfinal against the Netherlands, in a match that already felt like it had left orbit, Messi handled the ball and was not given the second yellow card that a great many people watching believed he had earned. The Dutch went out. Argentina went on to lift the trophy. 4 years later, Egypt's players are slumped on the grass in Atlanta while Messi gets thrown in the air by his teammates, and the entire football internet is typing the same sentence it typed back then. We have seen this before. And this is where it gets genuinely uncomfortable for FIFA, because the Egypt game did not land in a vacuum. It landed in the middle of the most scandal-soaked World Cup in living memory. This is the tournament where the president of the United States phoned Gianni Infantino, and a red card suspension against the host nation's best striker was lifted using a clause that has never once been invoked at a World Cup in the entire history of the competition. Jurgen Klopp's reaction to that was withering. This is our sport, not theirs. Wayne Rooney called it an absolute disgrace and said Infantino should be ashamed of himself. This is the tournament where hydration breaks conveniently chopped every half in two, an innovation reportedly worth around $500 million to American broadcasters alone, which Barney Ronay of The Guardian described as an abomination and a desecration. They called it player welfare. The commercial deals were signed months earlier. This is the FIFA that handed Donald Trump its inaugural Peace Prize and expected nobody to laugh. And now, days after being accused of favoring Argentina in the biggest match of the round, FIFA has appointed an entirely Argentine officiating crew to take charge of the France against Morocco quarterfinal, led by Facundo Tello, the first all-single nationality panel of the entire tournament. You do not need to believe in conspiracies to look at that appointment and wonder what on earth anybody in Zurich was thinking. Stack it all up and the motive writes itself. A deep Messi run sells advertising in a way a Messi elimination never could. This is his last World Cup. Everybody knows it. FIFA knows it. The broadcasters paying billions for the rights know it. And a tournament that needs to justify its own existence as the most expensive sporting event ever staged needs its biggest star on the biggest stage for as long as commercially possible. So let's be honest about the other side, because the accusations are enormous and the evidence is messier than either side wants to admit. There is no proof, none. Under the actual laws of the game, an attacking team foul in the build-up to a goal is reviewable, and the challenge did lead directly into the move. The late penalty appeal carried a higher threshold because it happened inside the box. A yard outside and consistency would have demanded a check. Inside it, there was not enough contact for a spot kick. Two decisions that look identical to the naked eye, governed by two different rules, producing two opposite results. That is not necessarily corruption. That is a broken system doing exactly what it was built to do. And there is a harder truth for Egypt buried underneath all of this. They were 2-0 up with 11 minutes to play. No referee took that lead away from them. They lost it. But here is the thing, and it is the entire reason this story matters more than one match. FIFA does not get to hide behind the technicalities anymore because it burned the benefit of the doubt itself. When you suspend a red card because a president called, when you carve halftime into quarters worth $500 million and call it welfare, when your own head of referees demands light touch officiating, and then a VAR rewinds 17 seconds to protect the biggest name in the sport, you have no credibility left to spend. The suspicion has become the story, and that is the real damage. Argentina march on to Kansas City chasing back-to-back World Cups. Egypt fly home with the best performance in their history and an unshakable conviction that the tournament was never theirs to win. Was that just football, or was it something else? Subscribe, because with an all-Argentine crew running France's Game Friday, we are not done.